The Great Race. Stranahan High School's track and football field was just across the street from our house. One day my older brothers had some friends over and we all headed over to the track. They let me tag along. They decided to have a foot race one time around the track. I wanted to race too, and they said, "Sure, why not?" They exchanged some secretive words and we lined up. Someone said, "On your mark, get set, go!" And I shot off the line like a speeding bullet and left those big clumsy boys licking up my dust. They could hardly run at all. About a quarter of the way around, I was gasping for air and my legs felt like rubber. Halfway around, I was knocking at death's door, and those big boys were closing fast. 3/4 of the way around, they shot past me as if I was standing still. Wait a minute. I was standing still. I was finished. My lungs screaming, heart pounding, and my mouth crying out for water. I turned toward home and walked slowly away. I didn't want to play with those big boys anymore. The day it rained frogs. It had been raining hard for a little while, and I was stuck inside. As soon as the rain stopped, I ran outside and over to the cinder track. I came to a screeching stop when the ground began to move under me. No, wait, the ground wasn't moving. There were dozens of tiny frogs, maybe even hundreds. I didn't really stop to count them. But they were about an inch long and they were all over the track and they were moving. I bent down and scooped one up in my hand and we examined each other closely. Then I looked up at the sky and thought about the rain that had stopped just 5 minutes ago. "So that's where frogs come from," I said. "What an amazing world." Just the marshmallows, please. Whoever came up with the stupid idea of putting mashed up sweet potatoes under a delicious topping of toasted marshmallows? Well, my mother served just such a dish at Sunday lunch one time. I asked her to serve me just the marshmallows. She refused my request and said that I'd have to eat the sweet potatoes as well. Then she served me a portion. My brain wheels began to turn. I saved that part of lunch for last. Then I ate just the marshmallows and laid my fork down. "I'm full." My mom was expecting that. "No, you're not. Eat it all," she replied. This surprised me. She was usually very reasonable about things. I quickly came up with a plan. We weren't into saying, "May I please be excused," when finishing a meal. We just got up and walked away. So I quickly shoveled the dreaded sweet potatoes into my mouth, got up calmly, and went out the front door. So far, so good. I hadn't swallowed anything. Then I ran across the street to a sandy place, got down on my knees and dug furiously with my hands, then spit out the contents of my mouth into the hole I just created. Then I turned to the task of covering up the scene of the crime and walked back across the street thinking about how good those marshmallows had been. Judgment Day. My second grade teacher called me up to her desk and told me to go to the office and tell them my name. I knew that my life of crime had finally caught up with me. The stolen gas cap, taking a piece of candy at the grocery, making weird noises in music class, playing sick not once but twice, telling my friend that his mom had bad manners, the yellow puddle on the floor of the Piggly Wiggly, and other things. Yes, I knew this was my judgment day that our preacher had warned us about. Our school was made up of portable buildings. Each grade had its own separate building. The office was an older stone house. I headed out the door of our building with the weight of my sins on my shoulders. As I walked through the scrubby grass toward the office, I decided that one more sin would come in real handy right now. I couldn't face the principal. Who knew what kind of cruel punishment was in store for me? So I hid behind a stone wall for a few minutes and then returned to our classroom. I called out, "I'm back from the office." But the teacher said, "Where's the milk? I sent you to the office to bring a tray full of milk cartons for our break time." Well, she could have told me that before, but I was glad she didn't ask any more questions and sent me back again. This time I delivered the goods. God's like that, in that he gives us more than one chance to do things right. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you can tune in again in a couple of weeks for yet another installment of my adventures. God bless you.